Welcome, everybody, here to the wonderful Ferrum Heights podcast. I'm so excited to be back here. It's been quite some time since we've done one of these. So, again, as you guys, I'm sure know by this point, I am Ruda Fuda, joined by the wonderful Mins McDareth, and supposed to be Roxo, but we're joined with the just as wonderful and talented Scatz. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing well. How have you been? It's been a bit since the last one.
It's been a hot bit. It's been a hot bit. How you doing today, Mins?
I'm doing all right. Been real busy. I haven't been able to go to a lot of Pokken stuff, but been a watcher. Been able to watch from the shadows.
Man, we have some crazy events we're gonna be talking about today. I gotta hope that everyone has either seen the results of or gotten the fine pleasure of watching the events that were happening over the last couple months, so maybe at least 1 month. But anyway, what about you, Scatz?
Yeah.
How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us today, dude.
Dude, no problem. I've been pretty good. Just got home, so ready to talk some Pokken.
Dude,
I'm a fiend.
It's the best thing to talk about, man. So I know that Mins and McDareth had the fine opportunity to go up to Battle for Castelia. I hope I'm pronouncing Castelia right. So what were your guys' thoughts on that event? How did you like it? I know, Mins, you did particularly well. What were your thoughts on the event, man?
I thought it was a really cool event. It was like if you just took a Neo City Brawl, which is the local from the New York City, the Bronx specifically, and you just made it larger, added a few extra people, bit more stakes, more on the line, and it was just a lot of fun. It was definitely not esports, but
Hey,
it was a good time.
You know what? Sometimes you just gotta have some fun, all right? Let loose a little bit, have some fun. But hey, I mean, either way, it was some good Pokken. It was some good times. What do you think about the competition there, Castelia, man? What was it like?
There were so many, like everyone was out for blood. Like I swear, everyone was having a good time, but no one was like, everyone was taking it super seriously. It was nuts. Like just like you can tell how serious things were. Like when, just because like the crowd was getting like insane at certain matches. Like, there was a lot of bias, towards effectively against Twixie. But
yikes! Yikes! Hold on, let's slow that down for a second. Where's the bias coming from? What's going on there?
So
tell me.
There was a crowd, and I'm sure you you were commentating during his top 8 run, McDareth, but
yeah.
I was like, what? Are you sure?
Sorry, got kind of.
You're good.
But yeah, so even, I mean, he's commenting, but it's still right next to it. But everyone's watching, top 8, Twixie versus me, Twixie versus Roxo, Twixie versus Maverick. And pretty much anytime anyone even touches Twixie, everyone in the crowd
gets
going
very
wild.
hyped. Yeah, they're definitely trying to root for the underdogs to stop Twixie's run.
So funny, man. And Twixie, unfortunately for the crowd, I guess, maybe not unfortunately in general, but unfortunately for the crowd, he did pretty all right. He did pretty all right at the tournament. You might say so, right?
Yeah, just a little solid. Just winning a free trip to North American Internationals.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. The man's
Yeah.
getting flown out to internats, dude. That's gonna be crazy.
Courtesy of Coach Steve and Panda Global.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about internats shortly, so don't you guys worry about that. I know Scatz has some things to say about that. But McDareth, what about you, man? What were your thoughts on Castelia? I know you were there as well, right? Were you competing? Or just casting?
I competed. But I just remembered Toga Kiss and have bad flashbacks.
More flashbacks.
But it's actually a really fun event. Like a lot of the matches were really good, like great to watch. The grand finals was really insane. Like
it was amazing Pokken.
Yeah, Twixie coming back from being down 2 games, just like he was pretty set on using Aegis Slash in the matchup and just ran it all the way back with Shandy.
Wait, he used Aegis Slash in winners finals, lost 2-1,
and then grand finals
Came
just
back,
went all Shandy.
He went all Shandy, went down 0-2, pretty convincingly, and then like final round of that game 3, brought it back, made a comeback, took him like reset the bracket, right, and then like we're just going back and forth between. Actually, no, he started to dominate Maverick, and then Maverick was taking it back at like the at game 3 of the reset.
Yeah.
Fought it back to 2-2. Last game, last round. It was insane. Like last hit.
Yeah, that's pretty much as close as you can get in Pokemon. And that was Decidueye Chandelure the whole time, right? Like what's above us right now, this whole matchup. What do you guys think of that general matchup? I know there's not a lot of people talk about Decidueye. There was a lot of talk when it first came out with Decidueye, the bird that everyone was like, this character's broken. But now that Aegislash has kind of taken the flame, I feel like we don't talk about Decidueye enough. What are you guys' thoughts on Decidueye, man? What about you, Scatz? Man over here to my direction. I don't really know. I think it's this way.
Somewhere.
Below?
No,
wait, no, I'm on top right?
Who knows? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, Scatz?
Oh wait, no, we have a different layout.
Yeah.
He's in an interesting spot. I mean, I feel like we almost accepted that he's a definite top tier, but he's not sort of over the top as what we initially thought when he was first released, especially since the patch. He ended up being toned down just by a couple spots here and there.
Yeah, small number adjustments.
Yeah, so I think he's in a really good place. I like seeing him. I think he works really hard to maintain his zoning, maintain his spacing and advantage. But as soon as he gets blown up for it, you can tell just by damage difference. It's
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think like this is gonna be kind of an oxymoron, but I think he's like a fair top tier character.
That's what Slipping Bug said too.
Yeah, and I've talked to Slipping Bug. We kind of have similar opinions. He like reminds me of if you didn't have Mega Lucario, like that would be what.
Yeah,
like he kind of is like he is very strong and very well rounded, and that's like where the well-roundedness and sort of the options he has for any situation is sort of where Decidueye's strengths come from. But there's nothing like super oppressive, except maybe in some matchups where it's like he can just fly around and you can't really do much. But those are kind of like not every single one where it's like,
right. I mean, and hey, speaking of Decidueye and Slipping Bug, freaking what about DreamHack? DreamHack Austin, man. Let's talk about what happened there.
Go right after one after another.
One after another, man. What happened there?
I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah, you tell me, because I watched that. I was preparing for Sheffield, the commentary,
and I'm like,
Aegislash
and Decidueye.
Okay, yeah, that top 4, I could not believe that. I was like, oh, me and Bertz are like, oh, what matchups do you think they're gonna play? Oh, they could play all these other characters. Aegislash, Decidueye. Oh,
yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it was too, man.
We can talk about that. There's also the nice crazy wild card that came through. I mean, Kalon.
Oh yeah, Kalon
CPU
did so well at that event.
Like
left field, dude.
I have to say it real fast. I'm still mad at Toasty.
Didn't he go?
Versus
yeah,
Godo,
he did the Blaziken did.
And then like I asked him later, it's like, why did you do this? Like I want to prove a point. It's like, well, yeah, you definitely proved a point.
Yeah.
And then in losers, he won Sceptile versus him and won. It's like, why?
Mm-hmm. Well, he wanted to play a worse matchup that he's worse at with a character who's not as good as the person he was playing against to prove a point. Yeah, it's about principle, okay? It's about principle. They will respect the Toasty.
He lost, so his point
definitely set the principle of him putting himself in the losers. I mean,
yeah,
but the man came back and got 5th, right?
Yeah,
he got 5th and then lost to the amazing Kalon CPU, dude.
Yeah, for 5th place, and then Roxo beat. I'm sorry, Balamar took out Roxo, right? Balamar, Roxo.
Balamar beat Roxo.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a crazy match too, man. Did Balamar was Decidueye or did he go Lucario for that match?
I want to say he went Lucario for that match.
I am checking right now. He went both.
Yeah, I think he went Lucario, and then when he went down, he switched to Decidueye.
Yeah, that's what happened.
That's crazy.
I know
he did. Yeah.
I remember he wanted to use Lucario for the whole event because like DreamHack being like Austin being like the first Pokken major pretty much. And him always using Lucario there, like he wanted to keep that tradition going. But then at that point, he switched. Yeah, it's also like how Thanks a Lot was trying to get top 8 using only Empoleon and almost did, but then he switched.
He had to go Sceptile a couple times. Right?
Yeah, once he was in losers, he switched. But until then, he was doing it. He did.
I respect. How far did they get through winners bracket? Who
I think he was a match away from top 8. I'm trying to remember who he lost to.
That's crazy. He ended up losing to
Balamar.
Toasty, right? Who put him in 7th?
I got his bracket. Let me go ahead and pull. He got to winners finals with All Empoleon and lost to Bolimar 2-0.
Dang. Dang. That's crazy, man. We got to winners finals? What?
Yeah, winners finals of his pool.
Of his pool.
Of his pool. Oh, there was pools. I forgot about that. Yeah, I know. So one thing, what do you guys think? So I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, at the end of DreamHack, I remember seeing a tweet from Slivingbug where he just says, like, I don't have fun getting carried by this character. Something along those lines of him just not being satisfied with Decidueye.
It wasn't Decidueye.
It definitely wasn't Decidueye.
Yeah, because I saw that text, like I saw that tweet, like out of context. And I don't
like.
What was the context for that?
I don't even like. He's just watching something but play. Even the grand final set, like winners finals was super close between Twixie and Slip. Grand finals was not.
Yeah,
grand finals
ridiculous.
was like a slaughter by Slip. Like he just adjusted. Like it's him. I don't think it's just Decidueye.
No. It's not the tweet, I believe, was saying he does not like playing against Aegislash.
Oh, okay.
Was that what it is?
He hates. Yeah, he really hates the matchup. Does not find it fun. Doesn't really like.
Yeah, okay.
He's not enjoying Pokken, and it's potentially the reason he's not at internationals is because he needs to take like a break after that.
It's understandable. I mean, the general trend against Aegislash has been pretty mundane to be light.
Hey, Aegislash does the job that Aegislash needs to do. All right, he was put here for a reason. It was put here for a reason. The sorty, non-gender specific boy is here, and he is ready to fight. All right, that's all we got to talk about with that sorty sword stabby guy. So there were two more events that happened that we want to talk about real briefly before we move into a couple things on the horizon for the Pokken community that you guys encourage highly tried to participate in. But before that, there's two events that happened. Some crazy things happened in Japan. We don't have the exact brackets, so we can't talk about what matchups and everything happened. But we do have the info. And Mins, I know you know quite a lot about this. So tell me, Mins, what happened over there in Japan for this championship?
Well, this was like all of Japan coming out for like the last chance that they could afford via a train ticket. Not a flight to Tennessee, but so it was won by someone who hasn't won, I don't think, any other big event in Japanese Pokken. Haruyuki, who is not a name that's, I guess, super well known, but he is this guy can play like every character apparently. Like he.
Hello.
Bro, he got the Krogunk. Oh. Did I? Oh, I'm out.
Okay, Skype died for a second. Okay.
Skype went.
I was like, did my internet go down? What was that? Okay.
Yeah, dude, I was like, no, not right now, not the internet.
Hold on, guys. Okay. We'll be right back. Elevator music.
Yeah, elevator.
God.
All right, what do you say? Go ahead, man. What are you talking about?
This is why I don't play on Wi-Fi. So Haruyuki, yeah, I don't know where I dropped out, but I'm just gonna say, dude went Krogunk, So we're talking about Aegislash. Aegislash is strong. This man, his counterpick to one of potentially the strongest character in the game right now, Krogunk. A character that many people think is the weakest in the game.
That was such a sick game, dude.
It was honestly one of the coolest games to watch of the tournament for me. Like, I'm certain you can find the VOD on Double's YouTube channel. He always rips the VODs.
Shout out to Double.
Yeah, Double is the homie. Also, Alistair restreamed it as well, so you might have you'll have a Twitch chat go along with it. So yeah, but this guy, he himself though, using the Aegislash. Aegislash has a lot of support in Japan, even more than NA. Like, you have a lot of people picking up Aegislash. Not really too many picking up Decidueye, surprisingly. It's really only Tono. Before Aegislash came out, people were picking it up, but anyone who picked up, outside of Tono, that picked up Decidueye pretty much just picked up Sword, Aegislash, instead.
Hey, why not, man?
Move from one to another. Like, you have some others that didn't show up here, were like Lydia, Ito. Ito, who is qualified for Worlds, he qualified in the 2v2, no longer means Gardevoir, means Aegislash.
I believe that's a good switch. That's moving up a couple tiers.
That's
one
moving on
or
up
two tiers, so at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a completely I mean, has that ever happened? Has anyone ever been like, Aegislash, bully, do I have a solution for you? And pulls out the frog line? Has that happened anywhere else?
Pulls out this. No, it's literally never. It's been like.
I'm always so sad with Krogan because like I've actually practiced versus that character, and I actually really like playing against him, and I never play one ever.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people talk about. I think I was talking to Mutator about this in a Discord call before I went over to Sheffield, and he was saying like the only reason, it's not the only reason, but like a big reason that so many people lose to Krogunk is that like no one respects the matchup enough to practice it. So like I don't know. I'm sure it wasn't this case. Grand finals of the Japan Championship, but it could have honestly just been. The man didn't know the Krogunk.
It wasn't grand finals. This was
Oh yeah, you're right. That was
like losers for 4th place.
Yeah, because that was Taro. Yeah, you're right. That was Gengar. So for that match, you gotta understand. Like maybe he just didn't practice that matchup because like how many people go out and are like, I need to find the best Krogunk just in case I run into one. Like it just no one really thinks about that. So you can have crazy matches like that. Also, the man played out of his mind. Like it was a crazy good game.
He really played nuts. It was super cool to watch.
Well, you gotta learn the matchup. Learn every matchup, everything.
Hold on. All right, let me stop you there because one of the things that is in Japan when they did play a lot of Krogunk back then.
They had some Krogunks. They
had some Krogunk, but they had at least experience
even
about
it. Tono-sama was trying.
The difference was Pokemon. He's a dope Krogunk.
But the biggest difference is that, and I got a chance to look at it back once it's double uploaded them. Haruki, he played him completely different. Well, mostly different compared to what we used to see him when he first came out. It wasn't a lot of based around RNG or anything like that. He actually played with a lot of pressure, a lot of frame traps, and I can't even pronounce his name. Masarodon just couldn't even handle it.
What's that against? Yeah. He played Chandelure first, and then
he played Chandelure, and then he swapped over to Aegislash, and both times he just got beat for both of them. So it's maybe it's a better question of just with the Krogunk players is what's going on to make you have to switch over if it's not RNG? Because if Haruki can do at least one of the matchups and against Aegislash, then
And I was pretty convincing against the Aegislash. Like it wasn't like he was forced to. He only picked it for the Chandelure, and then got like lucked out in the Aegislash matchup. Right? He was like strong in both matchups.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised Krogunk for both of those.
Well, it's just like he didn't lose against the Aegislash, so I think he won. He won 2-0, right?
Yeah, I was pretty sure he won 2-0.
It's hard to tell. The overlay for this event was horrible. It did not give you like any information. Oh no, he did lose the Chandelure, the first match. Yeah.
Yeah, but
you're right. Confirmed. I just
he did say
I clicked through the bot. Yeah, I clicked through it.
Yeah, he stayed Krogunk the entire time. So it was it was more or less a question of like, wow, you had enough. You had enough belief to not do it with Darkrai, which typically when he's on the screen, he's playing Darkrai in Japanese tournaments.
I can see not Darkrai versus those two. I think Aegislash is pretty good versus Darkrai personally, so I could see if he didn't want to do that and he felt more comfortable with someone else.
I mean, it's hard to say. I know at Castelia, there was a beautiful game that I got to cast against Keimon Euclase. I think this might have been in losers, actually. This was the match that Euclase got eliminated by. For three straight rounds, 3 straight rounds, Keimon did not shift into dual phase at all. He just won he won an entire game, entire match in field phase. Pretty much.
I thought the whole thing when I remember watching that is that Euclase really wanted to try and force something in field rather than
he tried to do like anything.
I feel like Aegislash in that matchup has advantage when he's waiting because like he has like a lot of good tools for reacting to Darkrai, but if you're trying to force it, then maybe not.
Well, I think for Darkrai, it's kind of like he can King Shield, but then he's in Shield stance, and like that's not that big of a threat. to be honest.
No, but then it's like, if Darkrai
Especially
does
for that.
something, and you're in shield stance, you can do Side Y, or like Beam, or something that can like poke at him from where you are.
Yeah, but he wasn't doing anything when he was in shield stand. He was just, came on
that's
was
true.
just waiting.
That's true. Is like he can wait for it, but as soon as you have any trap set up, then Aegislash is going to have to make a move sooner or later.
Yeah.
Because then he'll just use projectiles to force you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
No, but like,
Yeah.
I get that, but like, I feel like you can time, because like, yeah, projectiles, if it hits the shield, force you out, but you can do like a Side Y or something, and like keep armor active through what he hits you with, and stay in it.
It's not that. It's not long. It's actually deceptively short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
yeah, it's
fair
just one matchup out of
Yeah,
big
yeah.
field.
It's
Yeah,
been, I mean, it's been a while since I've done it anyway, so
Fair
it
enough.
could be
Fair
different.
I don't know.
that-
Maybe we'll see it again at internationals.
So maybe.
You might, man. You might.
So something to note: this was a qualifying event, of course. So Haruyuki is qualified for Worlds. He is the last official Japanese player until LCQ. Or hold on, I'll get to that maybe internationals. But also another thing to note is in seniors, Yusuke Kato, the like 14-year-old boy from last Worlds, who went through LCQ and like took hella names. And he's coming back, with a vengeance. He's amazing. That kid is like a prodigy. And
He was
then
playing Decidueye, wasn't he?
I'm not sure. I know they streamed the match, like
Okay.
the finals match.
Yeah,
But
I see him streamed. Kato.
Yeah, Kato. Yusuke Kato.
Yeah, he played Decidueye.
Does he now? Okay.
That's
'Cause
awesome.
he played
I wanna
Mewtwo
watch his
before.
choice.
So I'm not
Those are some
surprised.
pretty good characters. That man has some good picks.
Good
So
take.
we'll see how they do, man. We'll see if they're going to come on over to America and
Yes.
try out their luck in the LCQ. And
No,
then, of
they're
course-
in the.
Oh,
Those
they're-
two
oh,
are.
yeah, sorry, those two
actually,
are.
The
But
one
then
who's
everybody
qualified
else-
for LCQ or gets a free flight to it.
Exactly.
Cross Iragashi.
Igarashi, yeah, cross
Why
Igarashi
am I
coming
saying
on
that?
over.
I know how to say it. I don't know why I'm
Igarashi. Either way, whatever. So the last tournament that happened, that I had the fine pleasure of attending, was the wonderful Sheffield Regional Qualifier. I flew out to the beautiful, and by beautiful I mean very all right city of Sheffield. I'm just kidding. Sheffield's beautiful. It's all right. It's all right. All right. It's not London, but it's all right. It's cool. It's cooler than America. They have like Pizza Huts, but there's castles above them. That's dude. I have so many pictures on my phone when I was walking by UK, whatever. Like take it, but I'm like, dude, it's a Foot Locker, but like it's in a castle. Like it's a freaking castle, but just the bottoms of it's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway,
we're gonna need the stream of you showcasing the UK. Then.
oh, I will. Dude, it's a lot of. You should have. The group I was hanging out with, they can tell you about how surprised I was with literally everything. But very aside the point here. Seriously, I was walking. I'm like, what's that? And they're like, what? A wall, dude. It's just a wall. And I'm like, I know, that's crazy. Wow. But anyway, so with Sheffield, I think a lot of stuff happened in Sheffield. There's a lot of like defining moments for European players because, of course, in Europe, there's really only one big tournament that happens that's related at all to Worlds and qualifiers. This is the only qualifier the EU got, and of course, all of the top 4 qualified, which is just such a crazy dynamic because something I want to point out is that LCF, Gorson, and Gentrax are like a group, like a trifecta, right? So Gorson and LCF, otherwise known as Absoluted or X-Absoluted if you want to pronounce it wrong and make him mad. But
For so
LCF
long,
now,
you pronounced the X.
so I know. But for now, yeah, X-Absoluted to Absoluted to LCF to who knows what he goes to next. But LCF and Gorson trained Gentrax, essentially taught him everything they know. They got him to where he is, and it ended up being that no matter what, by the bracket, guaranteed, only 2 of them were going to qualify, and the person who didn't had to get knocked out by one of the people. So Gorson, I believe it was in losers, I believe it was LCF knocked out Gentrax. So I think it was even Gorson put Gentrax in losers, and then LCF. That's what it had to be. There was no other way to do it.
Training partners took each other out.
Yeah, something like that. So that was one big thing that obviously happened, and the biggest thing that Alistair's already jumping the gun on, as if I didn't know what's going on. Thank you, Alistair, for prefacing the topic. Obviously, the big thing that happened is this man, Fabi, was almost projected to win the whole thing. His attitude going into it was very respectable. It was like he wasn't really he wasn't like worried. he wasn't like confident, but he wasn't like, oh, I'm so nervous. He was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna have fun. We're gonna see what happens. The man knows like every single freaking character on the roster. Like if you see Fabi versus like anybody, you're like, I literally don't know what this matchup is gonna be. It could be like Darkrai versus Weavile, or it might be like freaking Sceptile. Like you don't even know. You have no idea. This man plays freaking everybody.
Also, I think like the last European event that was sort of big was what is it? Is it called Rebellion? No.
Revo?
Revo. Yep.
Revo last
Fabi
year.
got.
Yeah.
No, there was maybe. Like I think Fabi got like second or something.
I think of a different tournament. I'm pretty sure it was,
It's like there's a tournament in Germany, I think.
right. Okay.
Regardless,
The one that
in tracks. Oh no.
It's one where
that was the
Blue-
one that LC. That was the
I'm
one
pretty
that
sure
Yeah,
it's
that's absolute
Respawn,
one. Yeah.
dude. That's Respawn 6.
Respawn. I knew it started with an R.
Yeah. Soapy said it. Respawn 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Chavi got like second there, right? Like he's always been consistently like top 4 every European event.
Oh yeah. And so the crazy thing is the man ended up actually getting 17th. I don't remember who I think he lost to Dual Death Lucario and like someone else. DDL. I don't remember honestly. I don't really want to call names because I forget exactly what it was. But I remember it was very, very early. He got double knocked. It might have even been I don't want to say anything. But yeah, it was crazy. The man I think got 17th or something crazy low. And so on the exact flip side, this man Wingtide, dude, I love this guy to death. He's super fun guy, super cool dude. Lost to Tong and lose. That's what it was. Teeps and Tong. That's right. Tong, the freaking crazy Gengar, which we can talk about later. So on the flip side, Wingtide was this man's only been to one big tournament pretty much ever, and this man did like absolute garbage. He got destroyed, got irrelevant place. Like no, he was nobody, right? He did freaking esports nobody, all right? And kidding, I think it was ninth place. So this man comes back to Sheffield, and so you could say all you want, Aegis/carries. I don't believe that because not only does he really, really know this character, he plays a good Machamp. But on top of that, this man has kind of advanced the Aegis meta itself. So this man is not just some guy jumping on a bandwagon. This is one of the people, the pioneers of the character. And not only did he show a crazy bracket run, I think he pretty much almost took Gorson to just like last game everything. I think it might have been only the first set. But he almost reset the bracket on Gorson. Yeah. Gorson did end up closing out with a strong finish. Mm-hmm. But I want to point out Wingtide is his second big event. I think this is his first big game on top of that. And the man really displayed what Aegis is capable of, and it was just a fine pleasure to watch. And of course, since we're doing the big mentions, Gorson, I learned honestly so much about this game. Watch this man play. I don't know if you guys know this. I mentioned a couple times in the Sheffield stream if you guys watched. This man knows how to delay states so well with Machamp that in dual phase, he can do this roll, delay the state in some magical way, avoid all knockback of synergy activation from the opponent, and get a free punish. It's the craziest thing I ever... Well, maybe not a free punish, but he has like frame advantage. He has...
You're like plus 16 effectively.
It's freaking ridiculous. And this man just did it with like no problem. He like it was the first scenario it ever happened. It wasn't like he failed the first time and like this man just in his face, here's a synergy activation on the spot, boom, roll, dodged it, done. Like with no thoughts. And I mentioned to it later and I'm like, dude, like how'd you do that? He's like, oh yeah, you just gotta. He explained it in like full crisp detail. So like Gorson, man, I am super, super excited to see this man at Worlds because of course qualifiers from Sheffield was Gorson, LCF, Teeps, and Wingtide. So those 4 players already have a spot in Worlds. I cannot freaking wait to see how EU does in Worlds because it's been such a long time since EU has played with anybody else, pretty much since last year.
Well, no, there was a few times EU came over. There was, Switch Fest. There was Burnside Brawl.
But Switch Fest was like just LCF, right? So it was just one player of EU. Now we got 4 people coming in, man.
And there was that, I can't remember which turn it was, where a bunch of NA players went to EU, and Gorson won that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was last year. That was our... Was that not Revo?
That might have been.
That was in London. Revo was a London event.
If that one was
they were in London.
Yeah, that one was Revolution.
Okay.
Yeah. Revo was awesome. So either way, that was Sheffield, man. I also, the one person I wanted to mention freaking Teeps, dude. This guy is absolutely crazy. The amount of like reaction time this dude has. Like, there's so many phenomenal EU players that really haven't had the limelight at a big event because they don't really have too many giant events in EU. But man, Teeps is a freaking monster. You guys need to watch out for him. His scissor. Thank you, Pokken.
That's the official
that is the official pronunciation, you guys. Scissor and Aegislash. Don't at me. Actually, at me if you want. I'm right. But Teeps, man, he is an absolute force to be reckoned with. His scissor is freaking crazy. I think this Worlds is going to be by far the craziest Worlds yet. Also, quick shout out to Tong. That guy's Gengar is incredible. He was an online warrior for so long. Finally made it to an event. Dude, his Gengar is crazy. Man came from China to go to the Sheffield qualifiers. Didn't quite make it in the top 8. I think he was 9th. Almost exactly 9th. He beat Fabi to get a little bit farther. But either way, phenomenal Gengar. Can't wait to see him to go to more events. That's all I have to Sheffield. What were your guys' thoughts on Sheffield? Have any comments before we move on to what we got next year?
I don't know. It was cool that, it was a lot of community people on the mic, Yeah. I thought that was like a really cool thing. There was like the dynamic between how this event was structured is it had it was still like very professional, but it had much more of like a community sort of feel to it, I guess, than like previous other, official Pokemon events.
Because to clarify for you guys out there, it was a Pokemon Company official event. Mm-hmm. They did hire and work with a company called Tournament Center to actually put the event up. Tournament Center is what provided all the consoles. They provided everything. They made the event happen. They actually were the ones who hired the stream team as well. And the stream team was, of course, Gentrax's and a couple of people, Team Calyptus. Those guys were 100% in control of the stream. It was not a Pokemon Company official stream. And then all of the casters, including myself, we weren't like flown out there by Pokemon companies, all out of pocket, all community-based stuff. And so Angel Dark Song, myself, and the other 2 casters, they're part of Team Calyptus, and of course Saber. Can never forget Saber. It was all 100% community-based. It was a stream from the community by the community, and gosh, that was just such a freaking cool event. So that's all I got on Sheffield. I don't need to talk you guys' faces off any longer about how cool that was. But that was a fun event. I hope to go to more UK events because EU they're such a freaking great community. Anybody else got anything?
Well, no, I mean, that's it for the previous events, really. Yeah,
that's all we got there. So we're going to be moving on to something I think is freaking awesome. I know, McDareth, you know a bit about this, so I'll have you lead the way here. But this online Pokken ladder that Munster started up, man, I think it's going to be a really, really cool tool to get better, higher quality games for this next month out of online play. So, McDareth, what's that all about, man? What's this Munster's ladder thing?
So, I was excited for this because don't want to relate it back, but it's something I felt was always important for people who are in the online community is having a ladder system that you can play against people who are like similarly like-minded and wanting to get better and like play each other and see how you stack up to people. Like ranked is okay, but ranked has its own issues.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, definitely agreed.
One or two.
So like having a ladder like this is very important. So I'm very happy Munster set it up. I haven't gotten a chance to try it myself yet. I was hoping to do it on the first, but Mario Tennis has been taking my life.
This game's so good. Shout out to Mario Tennis. This game's amazing.
But yeah,
shout out to Bowser Jr.
He's broken. Get out of here. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
It's fine. Anyway, you can sign up. Like you sign up to play people. You get best of 3 matches with all your opponents. So it's not like you have to. You know, it's not like ranked because another problem. It's only like a best of 1, and then that's all you get. But now you can actually like adjust back to what your opponent is doing. So the ladder started July 1st. It's up right now on Smash.gg. It lasts for the entire month of July. So if you're interested in joining, I believe there's 60 people in it right now. So pretty good for like
62 as of a couple minutes ago.
Yeah,
62. Here we go.
You'll find Rudafuda on the ladders. Not playing ever, but anyway.
And I believe they wanted to have it so if enough people are interested. I don't know how much is enough. They haven't announced that there would be rewards for top 3. So something because like don't want to directly relate it to was I remember Anther's ladder is a thing for Smash 4 and Melee, which was online tournaments. Something they did for the top placings. They put them in like a tournament at the end, like a tournament bracket seeded by it, and they played each other for stuff like that. that's like an idea I thought would be pretty cool. They could do it with this to like, you know, you play basically round robin the whole way through to get points. And then the top people stack up and play each other. At the end of a season could be pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I love online ladders and like leaderboard, like actual leaderboards that are based on like results, not just like random points. Like one thing, one game I love. It's like a niche board game turned video game. Is Blood Bowl, and so in Blood Bowl, Games Workshop. Warhammer kind of football game.
It's good, dude. Yeah, the football so card army building Warhammer world game. Almost
it's like a weird
strategy. It's crazy.
A little bit crazy. RNG fiesta, but but the thing I love about the game is just like getting into like leagues, right? Like having these extended leagues with a bunch of different people, just playing a bunch of matches, and like over like just online communities that form from that, and like having the excitement of like who's gonna be the top 4 who play off at the end of it for like just a random online trophy. Like just I don't know, I love that. I love that kind of sense of community.
Yeah, it provides a grind for the people who are there to actually grind. You know, I know the biggest complaint about ranked, if we're already, you know, hit that topic very briefly, but the biggest complaint with ranked, of course, is anyone you're playing, you don't know where they're coming from. If it's little Jimmy in his mom's basement, if it's, you know, little Timmy who doesn't have a freaking Wi-Fi adapter, or like an Ethernet adapter. It's a more concentrated way to play players who are looking to get better, not just players who bought a Switch and clicked the online button on their school's Wi-Fi. It's more concentrated, it's more focused, and in the end, we're not even talking about rank-wise, not talking about anything. In the end, this is going to create a community that's getting better together because more people are playing more often in a more high-tense situation outside of actual tournaments and locals. Because, you know, some people don't have that opportunity to, you know, fly out to UK for 4 days, you know, just to be at an event, right? Not a lot of people can even have the opportunity to drive to the local 5 miles away. And it's not a fault of theirs. It's just their situation, whatever there is, right? So this provides something that people can get tournament quality games, maybe not 100% because of, you know, it's still net play, but it's remarkably better than it used to be in Wii U, and nowadays everyone should freaking have a USB Ethernet adapter. Better, I swear. They're $10 on Amazon. I'm not mad. $10 on Amazon. Even cheaper. And so more high-quality games. And that's it. I'm not mad, I swear. But yeah, so that's all I got on that. Very, very excited. So Munster, if you've watched this or if you are watching, doing amazing things for the community. I know you actually have more things coming, which I don't know if you've announced or not yet, so I won't talk about it. But Munster, STDX Munster, is doing some awesome things for the community. Very excited to see what he puts together, not only for the ladder, but for his future things that he's working with.
Well, like Canada Cup is like the biggest thing he's been trying to build.
Cool.
And he has announced that. He's announced that he's trying and like get someone, like fly someone out. And that's actually an event that we already have confirmation that Elm and maybe other Japanese players, I believe other Japanese players, are going to, which is going to be super cool.
I'm even going to try and go out there myself just to be there, because I haven't been to Canada before. There's a lot of things to do in Canada, so I might take a 10-day vacation and visit everybody in Canada, because I think that event's going to be freaking awesome. So if you guys are thinking about going, but you don't think you're going to win, dude, seriously, I might go and not even commentate or play. Like, I just want to be there. I want to experience the community. Everyone's so awesome. It's going to be an amazing time. Canada's a beautiful country. If you have not been there, I highly, highly, highly suggest you consider going to Canada Cup. It is October 26th to 28th, if I remember correctly. It's like the last weekend of October.
Yeah.
Sorry, 27th, 29th. So
28th. Second to last weekend.
No, it's the last. Oh, wait, I'm looking at July. What the heck am I doing? It's the last weekend. I thought it was 27th, 28th.
No, the Final Boss 2 is the last weekend.
No, I'm an idiot. I don't know. It's at the end of October. Okay. We got some time.
Also,
you're right. I'm assuming. But either way, gonna be a lot of fun. Very excited.
Quick shout out to the Canadian Pokken community. They're like the coolest people.
Dude, they're so chill, man.
In the Groove, got Tito Vortex, Smash Steve, Delvos.
What's that one guy that was played a long time ago? Septile player, Ice Fire.
Wise. Right, Wise. Yep.
Yeah,
dude's super tall.
Dude, that guy's tall as heck. Dude.
Oh no, that's Sheer. That's Sheer.
Sheer also.
Sheer.
Yeah.
I
think they're both tall. I think both of them are cool tall. I met Sheer also. Sheer's a super cool Canadian guy from Vancouver, I want to say.
Dude, I heard Sheer is like 6'7".
I freaking believe it.
He was like the tallest person at Worlds 2016.
Alistair, help us out. 6'7".
Yeah, you were at Canada, Alistair. What do you get?
It's like he had a picture and like he's almost like above the backdrop. And it's like, dude, are you kidding me? How are you this tall?
That guy's crazy. Wait, is Worker Bees also Canada?
Yes.
Yes.
If not, yo, shout outs to Worker Bees. You're a real
Jet Split. I think. No,
yeah,
wait.
Jet Split. Yeah,
Jet Split is now. Yeah, he is. He is.
Yep.
Wait, did they? Yeah, but they got. I don't know. Who knows what that shenanigans is? But those guys, congratulations to those two. I don't know where they're going to be living. Is Jet Split going to be moving to America then, or is Remy moving to Canada?
I don't know. Who
Stay
knows?
tuned for the Jet Split. Now, anyway, yeah, very excited. So speaking of events that I'm very excited about, I know it's something that Scatz, check camera real quick, to this direction.
Wait. He's not actually going to, by the way.
No, he's not. He might not be going, but he is. Boy, is he excited about it! And I know he has some words of wisdom to spray upon us in a internats, my boy. What's going on with that?
Man, so this is almost looking to like be the event, and not necessarily just for qualifying into Worlds. It's almost the event since Final Boss 2 or Final Boss 1, where almost everybody was there. Like. Mm-hmm. When you knew you were going into a bloodbath, like internationals is looking to be that way. We don't even have a confirmed bracket or a confirmed attendance of who all is going there, but just a handful of names that to get: Alistair, Twixty, Toasty, Momo. Dude, just so many names. I'd even have breath just even thinking about it. But it makes me so interested because it's like. You want to almost make a bracket for it, a fantasy bracket, but like, what are your thoughts about just the quality of this event?
It's gonna be insane.
Yeah, this is gonna be such a good event to watch. Like, there's so many, like as you said, almost all of the top 25, at least top 10 is there, except 10. Like Slip.
Yeah, it's like out of the top like 35 of the semi-current. I don't have the fully up-to-date list, but I have like sort of up-to-date list of the Pokken Arena power rankings or whatever. It's like of the 35, I think 10 aren't going to be there, and like most of that 10 is just people from out of the country.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
that's freaking crazy. You know what? Listen, I'm gonna make a deal to anybody out there listening. We can clip this and send it anywhere. But if anybody posts a top 8 fantasy. Top 8 fantasy. Anybody in the world, anybody can do it. I'm only going to give you one opportunity. You tweet it at me. You send it to me in some way or another. If anybody has the top 8 exactly correct, I will fly you to any event you want to go to in the next year of Pokken. If anybody can accurately give me a top 8, 100% accurate, top 8, 7, 6, 5. Well, I mean, obviously 7, 7, 5, 5. If you can give me a top 8, perfect. I'll fly you to any event. You can quote me. You can clip this, whatever you want, man. That's all.
What's the deadline on this?
Well,
before the tournament starts, you can only have one. You can only have one submission, and you guys can do it too. I encourage it.
Let me go ahead and make my top 8. So
you better, man. I encourage it. I'll fly you any event, anywhere in the country you live in. Actually, no, screw that. Any event, dude. I don't care. I don't even care anymore, dude. I'll fly you anywhere.
Dude, that is such
the Rudafuda sponsor, dude. The Ruda sponsor. Here we go. I want to see.
Honestly, such a hard thing to even figure out because like,
that's what I'm
really
saying.
Think about your top 8, like.
There's so many people that like can just pop off out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm
so many names.
I mean, I don't mind flying anybody out, but I don't think anyone's gonna get it. Like, I'll do it if they get it, but like, dang, dude, I don't think it's. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a hard prediction.
Yeah.
Watch all you fools out there gonna make the same prediction, and then you guys are gonna throw all your games just to get flown out somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, like even with someone probably putting in like Momo in their bracket or in their top 8, like even just remember now he went to Final Boss and Oreo got the run back on him, so like you can't even count Momo necessarily as a guaranteed top 8. It's just that close for everybody that's going.
Nothing guaranteed, man. I remember people making predictions for Sheffield top 8, and Sheffield was nowhere near as stacked as what Internets is going to be. And dude, like I don't think a single person predicted even 3 people correctly. Like, this is a freaking lottery, man. This is a lottery, all right? Like, good luck to everybody making their predictions. I hope I can fly somebody. Alistair
gonna rig the brackets.
Rig the bracket. Get out of here. I am very, very excited about Internats, man. That is going to be such a freaking incredible event. Is anybody have any last words on Internats?
I want to talk about the continued Japanese invasion. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Because
they continue.
Yeah, because okay, first off, Elma's the World Warrior who says there's a tournament here. I'll go take that spot. But besides that, Momo coming kind of scares me a bit, because if Momo gets top 4 at this event, then that's one less person from NA who qualifies straight to Worlds, and another person in the bloodbath that is LCQ, with only 2 spots making it out of that. And it's the fact that then there are 6 people coming from Japan, all fully qualified, which is like, you know, it's a state where, yeah, you just gotta win, but it's I kind of like, we talked about this a bit before the podcast, but I really wish we still had a point system, because like the current system now rewards peaks. It doesn't reward consistency. So like we talked about Fabi doing normally the top, like getting top 4 or top, like, yeah, always being in the top of all the European events. He had one bad event. Now he can't go to Worlds. Like that's like the danger of this system, where it's like you go to an event and like not everyone's gonna be on top of their game at every single event. You'll have events where you don't do as well, or you mess up, you make a mistake. I mean, you die in like 3 situations sometimes in Pokken. So like it can just happen. So like it's unfortunate that we're in a system where you have to, on that day, you have to be at your best on that day. And the other days don't matter as much.
I mean, and something you mentioned is that if somebody goes who is already qualifies and they win the other qualifier, nobody at that event qualifies, and all it does is it opens a spot at LCQ for someone to come in.
Yeah.
Well, it takes one of the qualifying spots. The way these work is that there's 4 qualifying spots.
Exactly. You can qualify multiple times, which is silly.
In fact, yes. But that's only in every region that's not Japan.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, because in EU, it was just the top 4 made it, you're done, you're good. But like, I think there's a couple things to talk about with this system. I think that it's pretty weird that within each region there's a different system implemented. The fact that at EU you couldn't go to Sheffield, you don't qualify for Worlds, period, unless you do SCQ. In America, same thing. You can't go to the.
Well, you could go to Sheffield. Well, you could go to the, NA can go to EU, EU can go to NA. That is an option.
Exactly. So then that's also, but then that's like, okay, but then you're not really qualifying as EU. You're qualifying. It's a weird thing. If you're going to go to an EU
also go to Australia.
It's so
like, I mean, like, tried to do that.
I feel so bad for Australia. Like, they had 2 spots, finally. Finally, since the first year, they had 2 spots, and they lost both of them.
Well, I mean, okay, Midori is Australian.
I know. Midori, technically, yes, is Australian, but he's been in Japan for a long time.
Natively Australian, yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, but they technically grouped them together. They grouped Asia and Japan together for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
What do you mean? For Australia?
So it's, yeah, because
it was like Oceania.
Yeah, because normally Japan would have actually like more events to qualify. And they have the 2v2 and the 1 qualifier, but
they had 4 last year as well. They took the spots for Australia out of the LCQ.
Yeah. So that's why they kind of grouped it together. So it's kind of the same and kind of not. It just gave more people the chance.
Yeah.
But because I feel like if that tournament didn't happen, Elm would have gone to EU again.
I mean, the dude has enough money to go over there, so.
Yeah. I mean, he was going somewhere. Like, he's like, that man's gonna go places. Like, he'll travel. He's a world warrior. That's what he does.
It's like nothing against him, but it's just like, it's unfortunate when there's so little spots being open for the game that, you know, you have to be on that day, or someone could just invade and your region doesn't get represented.
Exactly. I think there's a lot of weird things that goes on for these qualifying events. I mean, there's so many other qualifying events. Like, if you look at like other games, like we were talking before the stream happened, like for Tekken, it's like if you qualify from one event, you play in a new qualifier and you lose that one, you just lost your qualifying spot. So there's a million different ways to qualify in different games. And I think that
Is it really like that?
with
there's like I think that was the case in like 2016.
in one point, but
At one
wait,
point that was the case. I don't know if it's still.
yeah, my
that's
point
kinda
is
ridiculous.
I talked to
Yeah.
NYC Fab about this one.
my
think
point
so.
is that there's a million systems you
it
can
was
implement.
hardcore.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like Call of Duty hardcore mode. Did you shoot your friends? And but anyway, but my point is, with so many ways people have run qualifying events, people have run brackets, series, anything. The fact that we're even having this discussion about Pokemon having a way for qualifying for a crazy big tournament is freaking awesome. I do think, of course, there's things that they could change. There's ways to make the qualifying better. But the fact that we actually have a system in place where people can qualify for a huge world championship tournament, and we have people flying from Australia to NA to Japan to EU just to qualify for a spot in this huge tournament is freaking amazing. So first of all, shout outs to Pokemon Company, shout outs to the community, and shout outs to Pokken in general for the fact that we've even gotten this far with this game where we have a full qualifying World Series. I think that is freaking esports amazing. I think it's freaking amazing, dude.
You were talking about how people fly in for all these events. For internationals alone, the regions represented, besides United States, we have Canada, Adelvos, we have Mexico, DMX, and Indigo Fashion. We have Singapore, we have Japan. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, that's so cool.
That's people that freaking love this game, dude, and love the community and love the opportunity to compete at Worlds, man. That's just the opportunity to compete in another tournament. Like, this is ridiculous, man. What are you guys doing? This is crazy. God, Pokken's so cool, man. I'm so excited. This is a cool game. Cool community, too. God, heckin' gosh dang, man. That's all I got for internets. Anything else to add over there, McDareth?
I was going to say, because I know VGC still uses points. Like, they still... Yeah. They're basically very much point-based. And Pokken, the very first season, had that, but I feel like there were issues with it, and then they just, like, said, yeah, forget it. We'll change it.
Yeah, screw it. We'll just make a...
Because, like, I remember there was one event in Australia or so, and, like, if you went to that one event, you got to go.
There wasn't an event in Australia.
There was something. So I remember the old leader of the Discord went, because he went to, like, one thing, and, like, that one thing was enough points for that region to go.
Well, okay, so I have flashbacks to this, both good and bad. But so the way there was points based, and like there were like regular events and like big events. I guess minors and majors.
Yeah, there's majors and minors.
And majors were like double the points, and effectively there weren't enough events to be if you like, or there were so few events that if you only got like fourth at a major or like even a minor, you still qualified. Like you were just guaranteed to qualify because you could not get enough points.
It was a combination of those issues because it was almost kind of like, I think it was 6 events under a span of 3 months.
Yeah.
So it was just, it wasn't necessarily that you're good to go. You were fine going to one event because there's no way that everybody could pay going to every other event.
Yeah. However, also the other problem or the other situation that arose regarding the points was that top 4 was pretty much the same, like 3 people for like all the majors.
Yeah.
So it was Suika Master, TJ, Bim, Scopa.
Oh, yeah.
So like they just had all the points and they were all just purely qualified already. So it was just like whoever had the scraps, and like you could have like, I think I qualified with like 16 points at most. Like there were people that qualified with maybe like 8. I think in EU there was like someone that qualified with like 4. It was really crazy.
Yeah. I think for that year, that was them trying out a point system, and it's not necessarily, it doesn't work out the same way for Pokken. I mean, they could have worked with it and could have been able to refine it, but it's what we got now. So
yeah,
I think. Go ahead.
Sorry, Denny. You can continue. I'll end it.
I was just saying that. Of course, I think they can always come back to it and approach it differently, but a couple of heads from inside the community would definitely help to redirect their focus.
Mm-hmm. So at the end of 2016, I was talking with one of the people who was, I guess, I want to say running the Pokken event at Worlds. Like he was sort of the guy in charge of Pokken in general, like what that sort of thing was. I think he was mostly the stream side of it, but he knew what was going on behind the scenes. So I was talking with him about like what was going to happen next year for season 2. And so effectively what he was saying is that the reason it's not that sort of multi-event point system anymore is because Pokemon Company sort of wanted to have it on just a smaller scale, smaller budget, to make it just more manageable for them. Because there was like a lot of events that they kind of weren't really able to handle.
I mean,
like if you, what was it? St. Louis Showdown was one of the qualifiers. That's, whew, God, that one was a spicy trip.
And
like
poor EU got screwed so many
EU
times.
in general.
Oh God, you're sending me flashbacks now.
Yeah.
F's in the chat for you.
Yeah.
You guys want to go to Worlds? Here's 2 days notice. Good luck.
Okay, to be fair, that wasn't Pokemon's fault. That was DreamHack.
DreamHack has been notorious for that.
Yeah,
Hey, but I know
Pokemon
who's not
told
complaining.
DreamHack.
Angel Darksong is not complaining about that. I had a few discussions with that man about how much he enjoyed that event over at DreamHack in AU. He said that was a fun event for him, specifically for the pot bonus. It was very nice
Like
for your boy Angel Darksong on 1 day notice. Shout outs to Angel.
Yeah, dude, he's the coolest. I love him.
Dude, he is. Yeah, I had the fine pleasure of Airbnb-ing with him. He's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, there's a chance it comes back once TPCIs gets more comfortable with Pokken. I think that they were just like potentially a little overzealous of how they wanted to run season 1 and then sort of wanted to cut back a little bit for season 2. But I think as things sort of continue on, show that, Pokken, the Pokken community is like reliably there. We are consistently, showing up. Our numbers are improving and whatnot. Like I feel like they're gonna sort of keep, adding more to it. Maybe more regions, more events. Like expansion. I think it's good. We're looking good. Things are looking good for us.
Yeah, and for sure, the moral of the story here with the brackets and the qualifying and how it's run is the fact that things are changing. They're trying to make a system that works best, because we can all agree the point system kind of sucked a lot season 1, right?
Yeah.
Like, as much as you say the point system is more ideal, it is only more ideal when you have a heck ton of events, right? You need more events, more things happening, and they don't have the budget for Pokken, which is understandable because it's not as big as VGC or TCG. You don't have as much entrance. It's not the same. So we're getting, what we for sure know is we're getting closer to an ideal way to qualify for the amount of people that play the game, as well as the amount of people who are competing and the number of events that are fully supported by Pokemon. Because at the end of the day, we don't want Pokemon Company to burn their own resources and make them not want to do another season. So I would rather have a season with less events, but learn things of how to deal with the resources we have, so we can go into the next season with the information and have an even better season and a better qualifying system and a better everything, a better world. Because at the end of the day, it's all about what's coming next, right? The next year, the next season, and I think they're making the right changes.
I just wanted to add it real fast that, like,
Go ahead.
yeah, I understand, like, they need to pull back a bit sometimes, but they make a lot. Pokemon Company has a lot of it. So it's like, I don't want to be like, yeah, they can't afford it. No, they could. They kind of just don't want to right now, which is, I mean, it's fine.
Okay, but think about it.
Well, you don't want it running on like a massive loss.
Well, think about it this way.
You don't
like,
know it was, but like,
a big thing that I would like is
that's what it was happening.
more events throughout the, like, because right now it's like second half of the year there's nothing, and then there's like a drought. People worry is like, how is the game doing? What's the scene like? And then we go back to the end, and now there's like regional. It's like all back to back real fast, and then Worlds. So I would like that, like, at least spread that out some bit. So like there's more events throughout the year to like pepper it out a bit more.
I like that. I like that. That's fair.
I mean, it's just necessarily, if you think about it, like, considering how much they probably spent and went negative for the first season, they probably hands got thrown in the air from inside, and that's not something that you really want, especially on your first attempt.
Of course. And you got TPCI is a business and a company. I've been running a business myself, and I know that if I have things doing very, very successful, let's say I'm like an author or something, I'm pushing the book sales of my 2 most popular books. If I wrote a book that's just not doing as well, why would I bust my tushy, my esports Heine to get that book more sales when all I could do was just focus on the things that are already successful? So on a business standpoint, I understand what Pokemon's company is doing, which is exactly why I'm so thankful that they even provide anything for us in the first place. Because even though their game sales for Pokemon were really high, for like, I don't want to say for no reason, but
for us, for a Wii U game, they were like way higher. Yeah, like had any ranking.
We were like top 10 if I recall.
Yeah, which is I think it outsold Street Fighter like a
5 in the United States,
which is crazy. And so even though the game itself did successful, as far as events and event success and how many people show up to regionals and blah blah blah, it's just not as big as VGC or TCG and everything like that. So I understand why they don't support us the same way they support TCG and VGC. It's a more niche game. But the fact that they're giving us any love, they're helping our community, they're providing patches, and like not just like okay, let's be real, a couple of the changes they made, a couple patches, buffing Aegislash iframes for no reason on Dash. Okay, but besides like random patch changes that aren't 100% agreed with, like they're doing a great job balancing the game, and they're making changes.
I wanna. That's Namco Bandai.
Oh, you're right. Fair. You're right. But the game itself, I'm talking about the game Pokken in general. Whether it's Pokemon Company or not, the fact that the game is progressing in a positive direction, as well as the events are being supported by Pokemon Company themselves, and Pokemon Company is not dumb enough to be like, we're going to do everything always. For example, Sheffield was 100% outsourced to Tournament Center. So they're working with big companies that know what they're doing with VGC and FGC stuff. Like they've never done FGC before, so they outsource it to people like Tournament Center, who beautifully ran an event, and they've been doing that multiple times. So amazing.
Jabali in the United States.
Yeah, exactly. CEO, Jabali in the United States. I mean, not CEO, but like Jabali in general. Like people that have experience doing something that Pokemon Company has never done. Pokemon Company has never made a fighting game. They've never had to worry about having a fighting game bracket. It's very, very different. Even though it's still
had to worry about a fighting game crowd, you know?
Exactly, exactly. So they're very smart with how they do it. I love that they are still giving us attention, and the fact that they're even putting any amount of effort into hiring people like DC, who are now not entirely in control of just Pokken, but who have that knowledge, because DC is much, much more of a FGC. I think literally right now he's streaming BB Tag. Like, you know,
he's currently the lead for Pokken for the most part.
Okay, yeah, he's the one. He's the guy who's like really pushing.
But what I was saying is he does other stuff as well. So as an employee, coordinator, he also plans a lot of events for VGC and everything. So he does a lot of other things too. But the fact that Pokemon Company reached out to someone like DC, who only really had a big hand in Pokken events, like of course he plays VGC and everything, but he only really had a big hand as a community member of Pokken. They reached out and got someone like him on board with their company. You know, it speaks volume of what Pokemon Company thinks of the game and how we're progressing. You look like you had something to say, Scatz.
It was a thought, but I'll skip that. I'll skip that part. The only thing I'd like to say on this part is that they definitely have taken some of the right directions for it, especially outsourcing for Sheffield. I know I've talked to a couple people beforehand. It hasn't really been a thought that has gone out really, and I won't get into in depth because of course we got to keep moving. I think it's definitely important that TPCI starts looking at being able to look at things more so as possibly a sponsorship, more so than
running it.
Sure.
Yeah, like what Nintendo does.
Of course.
Because
how they do the streams in their event and no chat and all that jazz.
Yeah, because then once they go that route, that lets up a lot more pressure on them, and that allows us to be a little bit more free and being able to support the community as well as them being able to support community, and then focus everything on the World Championships.
Yes, exactly. Like a regulated sponsor, like we can still abide to all Pokemon Company rules. on all of the streams. They might not be 100% Pokemon Company on the Pokemon Company stream, but as long as they're sponsored by, affiliated with, and regulated in some sense or another by Pokemon Company, it frees them up to have more resources and more time spent on focusing on internationals, qualifiers, worlds, period, or even just worlds. Like, I totally agree. I wish we had more pull on that, but of course I know they're busting their butts, working as hard as they can.
Just give me the ring.
I appreciate what they're doing, man.
I just want the ring. Give me the ring. I want the wrestling ring, man.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be
CEO
sick.
wrestling
Also,
ring.
I'm pretty sure. Just as a mention, because we didn't mention him specifically, I think actually Jabali. I don't know. I can't reveal what they replaced him with. I know who they did. But I know there was talks. I think Jabali actually broke his leg, unfortunately.
Yeah,
and so I don't think he's running.
surgery.
Don't think he's doing the Pokken thing. Someone else is in charge of it, I believe. If I remember reading this correctly, I'm not going to say who or what it is. I don't know if it's public information. But the people they are outsourcing it to, and the people they got running it in America, I'm very, very confident in what they can do in this event and with everything really.
He should be good to go when it comes to Worlds. So,
is it revealed who it is?
No.
Okay. Yes, I have no idea who it is. No idea.
I mean, it's gonna be in like 4 days, so it's like, but yeah, no, it's not that big a deal.
They'll know. I don't want to say anything. Yeah. Rest assured, we're in great hands. Mm-hmm. The man or woman has been very successful with what they've done, and that's it. That's all I got for that. I'm glad we're in good hands and we're moving in the right direction. It's Alistair, guys. It's Alistair. It's not Alistair.
That's why he's flying in last minute. He just registered like the other day. He got chosen.
No. At first he said he wasn't even going, and now I was like, "Hey guys, I'm coming to international."
Yeah, like, I'm not going because I'm running it. The Alistair takeover is here.
We see your game, Alistair.
He's gonna rig the brackets for himself. Oh my god! He's gonna rig
the brackets for the free flight. That's what it was. It was a pre-plan, dude. He wants the free flight.
We pieced together the puzzle.
Yeah, he did it before even I knew about it. Man, it's crazy.
I do want to mention something that would go towards the internationals, and it's actually for future events afterwards. I don't know if you guys gotten a chance to see it, but Icy Soapy's stats sheet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a project that he just recently started up, getting to see stats for all the players. I know he's started for NorCal. He's done Nebraska. Shout out to Nebraska. They're currently doing the tournament as well. So, but he's also doing it for the season PRs. So maybe once that you see the PRs come out, you also see the stats of how everybody has done, and not necessarily just player stats, like percentage against how you played against another player in sets and matches, but maybe also with characters, character efficiency or support efficiency. Like, it's still in the works. It's still very bare bones. So I might be saying too much. Don't quote me. I'm not lead. Don't fool me on that.
Yeah, what you guys do need to know, the important thing is Icy Soapy has been like wanting to do this for a very long time. I've known this man for like 2 years now, actually. Pretty much since right before the very beginning of Pokken, and he's always wanted to be a part of a project, part of something. And this man has like pretty much, I don't want to say out of the sky blue, but like out of nowhere, it was just like, hey guys, I'm doing this. It's going to be great. So what you guys should be anticipating is an amazing, essentially stats team run by Icy Soapy, producing some amazing information. And I think we will have a lot of opportunities in the future to implement it. Perhaps something with Burnside, with graphics, anything it might be. All we know is just expect some amazing implementation of actual real stats. And man, he is going. If you guys can see the Discord server chat he's in, dude, I will literally.
Well, you can actually. You can join in on the project.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was public.
Yeah, I think this one's open.
Yeah, like let me check. I can scroll. Discord. I can scroll like crazy, and I'm still only at Saturday. It's like mainly just Icy messaging and getting information everywhere. Like, I will wake up every day to like 5 or 6 notifications of like Soapy being like, yo, Saber, give me the information on this and this and that and this and that and this. And by the way, guys, what about this? Dude, shout outs to Soapy. He's doing great things. I'm very excited. Yeah. And like you said, if you want to help out with the stats team, join the server. I think you guys might have info on how to get there.
Pokken Project Place. You can easily just find it. Just go to the Pokken community, like the Pokken / or discord.gg/Pokken, and then type !project disc. It'll give you the link. And yeah, you can just sort of get right into the channel, start working away.
Things like that. Either that or if you don't want to necessarily join in and help pull out the results, I mean, helping with Smash GG and reporting the character plays, because there's a lot of tournaments where we just report scores and then bam, that's it. Yeah. So I mean, if you can report characters, and that makes it even better. Like something that's crazy, and I don't mean to blow him up, but I got to do it. Just today he posted about Nebraska's locals. Ooh. I don't know if people have gotten a chance to read through some of it, but Raph's Mew has actually been on a tear through that entire season, and like he's actually ahead of Spud in a win percentage, which is crazy because like theoretically he would be number one just off of these stats alone. So
interesting, the things you learn from stats.
Yeah, but it's only by 1%. That's how close.
1%. Oh my god.
84 to 80. I think it's like 85 to 84%. It's that crazy. So it's some really good information. It's like things that you just wouldn't even get to know about. And I think that's really amazing just to even have that start that project.
Oh yeah. So shout outs to Icy Soapy again, man. That guy, I cannot wait to see what he does. He's always been a hard worker. He's been really, really behind the scenes. He tried to start and run the entire Arizona scene. I know I believe, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he went out and like even bought setups just so he could run events for Arizona. If it wasn't that, he at least went out of his way to make sure that there were events being run and run correctly as TO over there. So the man's been in the background for so long, man. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure.
I think he bought at least one extra setup.
Yeah. So now he's up in NorCal, doing some good things there. I'm sure Alistair is going to be maybe work with them too because he's in the same area. I have no idea, honestly. But he's up there now, man. Look out for Icy Soapy. He's going to be on the playing field, hopefully as a player, an analyst, a stats guy, and God, like I said, man, super
maybe the new Tafo Kents, the Tafo Kents,
Tafo stats,
dude.
Tafo stats. Who knows? Easy stats.
We'll find out next week on Dret. Never mind. But anyway, I think that's really all we had to hit for today, guys. We do, of course, if you want to briefly mention the next two tournaments coming up, I don't think we really have to go into much detail.
We've been talking tons about NA Internationals, so
yeah, so
not much else to really say about that one besides it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening this
weekend.
So
get your drink ready. Get your
go to NA Internets, man. So you want to get spanked, a good spanking, go to NA Internets, or if you want to do some good old spanking, we don't know. We have literally no idea. And don't forget, if you guys missed it, clip this again. I swear I will stick to this. If anybody can successfully predict the entirety of top 8 for NA Internets, I will personally, out of my wallet, bank account, whatever it might be, I will fly you to any tournament you want in the next year. Any tournament you want, if you can successfully predict place order of all top 8, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 7th, 7th. If you could do it, free flight anywhere you want for any event for Pokken in the next year. Hold me to that, everybody, okay? Anyway, that's all we got on Internets, man. Do it.
Yeah.
Good. Great, Steven. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So besides
hold
that,
me to it.
go to Internets. Defend the North and Evo are also coming up. We were going to talk about Roxo's event today, but it's so far in the future, and we wanted Roxo to be here for that. We don't really have time to talk about it, but yeah,
we'll
Defend the North and Evo.
Next
what do you guys want? Do you guys have any sweet info about those two events? They're coming up pretty soon. I know Defend the North is.
It's the 20th, 22nd of the month. So July. Yeah. I love Defend the North. Is always a cool event. It's like a more low key summer jam, winter brawl, NEC kind of thing.
It's like pretty cool regional for
what they. It's just like a tri-state. It's in New York, not New Jersey, so it's like easy. It's the White Plains, so it's easier to get to for a lot of people. You don't have to like stay at a hotel for pretty much anyone. It's just like nice one day, easy, fun tournament. It's ran by City of Brass. I'm a big fan. Let's see if we can defend the North. If anyone wants to come up and try and steal the North, I think we're 1-1 in Pokken. Suiken Master won the 2016, and then I want to say Shippo.
Yeah.
Actually, wait.
No,
Did
yeah.
Shippo?
I'm pretty
Or
sure
was it
Shippo. No, Shippo won Defend in the North. I think Trixie was Summer Jam. That was Twixie
Okay.
Soul Guitarist Grand Finals.
Okay, yeah. So we're 1-1. Let's see if we defend or lose the North this time. The tiebreaker.
Actually, so it looks like Alistair just said Nebraska is making an announcement right now on their channel. So I would say if there's nothing other big topics we could talk about.
Well, I just want to say with Evo real fast.
Yes.
That
yeah, go ahead.
Pokken got enough entrants to be one of the top 4 games. So so
Side
it will
games.
be on top side game. So it will be on the main or not the I think it's main stage at Evo. It'll be on a stage at Evo.
Yes.
And on one of the Evo channels, and I suppose the winners will get like official Evo medals and stuff. Maybe I don't know about that.
Who's running that?
yeah.
Who's running the stream
Top
for that? Is that
4.
Pokemon Company stream?
Well, okay, the top
No.
4 will be on Evo's channel, like one of the Evo channels.
Yeah, one of the many that they got. So.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they'll be on the Friday, so it'll probably be like
Well,
it won't be on like Evo 8. But
will they be streaming Saturday for it?
no,
Because I know they have some events that are mainstream on Saturday, and then they have them.
I think
events
all the side events are like the main stage live or Evo stream official side events are Friday, and then like they have their games Saturday and Sunday. I'm pretty sure that's how it's working this time. I want to say.
Interesting. Well, either way, it's
But-
coming up in a month. Main stage. Very, very excited about that. Evo is always a phenomenal event. If you guys have ever been to Evo, if you've never been to Evo, freaking go, dude. Like, it's the home of fighting games. It's always the biggest event, most fun of. I mean, okay, hold on. Actually, I like CEO is pretty freaking cool too. But of like the traditional events that have been out there since fighting game history, Evo has always been like one of the biggest names in any fighting game event to ever happen. So if you guys have never been to a fighting game event, national, world, whatever it is, freaking go to Evo, dude. It's an amazing experience. You won't regret it, whether you play or don't play. It's amazing. It's in 1 month from today, pretty much. Almost exactly a month from today.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, August 3rd. Yes. I mean, like the next weekend, but a month from today, August 3rd, Evo, I consider going. That's all we got, man. So I think Nebraska, Pokken is doing an announcement right now. I don't know what it's about, but if you guys don't have any last words, I think we're going to send everyone over there listen to Nebraska announcements. That sounds like a plan to me. I think you guys have any other last
Seems
words?
like a solid idea.
Dude, I
Send
like
us,
announcements.
everyone.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right,
I like
my
the
friends. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining on the Ferrum Heights podcast. It has been such a blast. I love doing these. McDareth, of course, it is such a blessing that you get to host us on your channel and, of course, be a part with us as well. And Scatz, my man, thank you for joining us today. I know it's very, very last minute. We're going to have to get you on here another day with more preparation and, talk about some different topics and whatnot. But we appreciate you joining very, very last minute. And with that, I think we're going to send you guys over to Nebraska.
Wait,
So
first,
thanks for tuning in.
Where can
Go ahead.
people find everyone?
Yes.
So you can start.
Yeah,
Making
where
yeah.
can you find it? How about you let us know, McDareth? Where can people find us?
What?
Well,
Everyone individually, like.
Oh, I thought you were
Sure.
talking about like the Pokemon
Oh,
community,
fair.
like
I
folks.
mean, I'm right.
oh well.
I'm
I'm about to say I'm right here.
Yeah.
You can find
Right,
you can
if
find
people
me
wanna
at
follow-
Rudafuda
yeah,
on Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter. Mins. What am I? Mins at Mins Pokken on Twitter. Mins__ for when I stream every 2 months on Twitch. Always on Discords.
Of course, if you have not yet, drop a follow on McDareth's channel. This is where we always run the Ferrum Heights podcast, as well as McDareth produces tons of content, man. I've been watching his Mario Tennis streams a lot. I lurk. I'll be honest, McDareth. I lurk you.
Thank
So
you.
he streams on Mario Tennis. He plays other games as well. So drop a follow on the stream. And, of course, hey, if you have that Twitch Prime sub.
It's the beginning of the month.
That's it, man. That's what I'm saying. But that's all I got, McDareth. You want to close us out and
wait,
take us off? my
Scatz.
friend?
Wait, you're forgetting
Oh, yeah.
Scatz. Scatz, where are you at?
Dude,
Where can people find you?
you can find me on Twitter as Scatz_RBM. I stream on every Friday for the most part. What I call it TGIP, thank goodness, is Pokken. So you can either find me on both of those, man. That's the best place. You can find me on Discord too. You just ping me. I'm quiet all the time. I'm lurking.
Nice. All right, McDareth.
All right.
Where can they find you and when you at?
You can find
Wait,
me.
Exactly
here.
where you are right now.
McDareth on this stream. The VOD will be up on YouTube. I'm thinking probably Thursday. Went up before regionals.
Okay.
Pre-discussion, and also on Twitter at McDareth. So thank you guys for watching.
All right.
And we'll
Thanks.
see you guys next time.
Bye.